From the beginner to the professional, from the novice to the master, from playing and experimenting with things to create a masterpiece. These are all the elements of art, the creative force of art. And our art is sound. Hi, I'm L.V. Smith, host of the show Sounds Within. We cover everything in sound. It could be music, it could be poetry, it could be basically just being a therapist. It is so vast. But we're going to get back into the music industry, but we're going to hit another aspect of it, the recording studio. And we might as well bring back a gentleman who came as a singer-songwriter, but it just so happens he happens to own and operate his own recording studio. Now, speaking of the talented Mr. Jeb Lipson, welcome aboard again. Yes, I'm getting so excited I'm about to fall out of my chair. Literally, seriously, it's great having you. Now, we were just talking a little while ago, and then next thing you know, and you mentioned before, but it didn't click. You own a recording studio.
I do.
Wow. Care to share how that happened?
It was a long process. I in Tucson, where I went to college at University of Arizona, left school before finishing. Don't do that, kids. I went on the road with a rock band. Made pretty good money.
Who was the band?
Bought a PA. It was just a cover tune thing. We're traveling around playing heavy metal, just a set of Scorpion songs at midnight and bars along the Great West. And we had a PA system, and we came back, the band kind of split up, and everybody had bought chunks of the PA, but I ended up with all of it. And I started, actually, a guy who I ended up producing later on had a gig, and he said, "Oh, you can do sound." He just met with I was like, "I don't know nothing about sound." I ended up doing this gig. It sounded pretty bad, actually. But I got better at it, and I just started understanding it, kind of had a mentor a little bit, and just started doing live stuff. Live stuff's a little tough on your ears because it gets really loud. Kind of quit doing that and kind of moved into recording. And I still have a live sound company, but I have other people do the loud stuff. I always wear protection when I do gigs like that. And I started out with a little 8-track recorder, then a 16-track, then a 24-track, all analog stuff, but way before digital. I mean, we used to mix to, that was modern. I mean, I was mixing to,
Yeah, the old reel-to-reels back then?
Yeah, of course. And, making vinyl records. And then I started out in a little place in North Hollywood after I moved out here, and was part of a rehearsal room, Yo Rehearsals. And I had a little place in there called Yo Demo. And made a bunch of demos in there. A lot of them got released. We did pretty good work. And then partnered with a guy downtown and came up with the name Big Scarry Tree. Driving through Topanga Canyon one night after there was a fire, there was this big crazy, I said, "Look at that big scary tree." I said, that's what we're calling the studio. I had a partner at the time.
So he's like, how Big Scary Tree.
And he's like, "That's the dumbest name ever." I go, "No, that's a great name." He's like, he wanted something like, Turbo Fantastic Sound or something.
I like Big Scary Tree.
Yeah, so, and then that partnership didn't last that long, and I bought him out and was there for a better part of 2 decades, and just, it was kind of a really cool, in downtown ground level loft, and then SciArc moved in, and 2 or 3 landlords bought all the buildings, and the gentrification. I was part of the gentrification project.
So you were a victim of gentrification.
I'm not a victim, man. That guy, he did me a favor. Those rents were too high. There was no parking, and the place stunk. No, thank you for gentrifying me. It just took 5 or 6 years to reopen because I had to find a good place, but I ended up doing it in the back of my house, and I gutted it down to the stud and built a room to sonic perfection, and I'm really happy there.
Great. So how did you get the equipment to?
Well, I'd been kind of collecting it my whole life. So, I mean, I start out, I never sell anything unless I have to. So, if I think I have at last check, my mic locker is pretty vast. I have probably 30 to 40 channels of outboard Class A mic pre's, and I have Peter Frampton's old console. I have,
I mean, what do you mean? What is the console you speak?
My speaking board. The mixing board. I have.
So that's the thing that mixes the sound.
Well, there's in the modern world. There's some people are mixing in the box. Some people still break it out through a console. Some, there's a lot. There's 100 ways to skin that cat. It helps if the song's good. But if the song's no good, we can still polish it a little bit. But yeah, it's best to start. But I cut everything live. I mean, I try to do as much human stuff as possible. I really don't like to mess up music with computers.
So you're pretty much an old school.
I'm very old.
Recording
and I
engineer.
did go to school, yeah.
When we speak of old, I don't think so much becoming antique. I think it more or less like becoming more like cognac.
Oh yeah, no. Age is nothing but a number, but experience that does count.
Well, when we get back, we're going
If I can remember where I parked my car, it'll be great.
I got that. When we get back, we're going to talk about what do you do in a recording studio and some of the people you work with. So we're going to take a break and find out. Hi, L.V. Smith, host of the show Sounds Within. This show comes on every Friday at 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. on the Arroyo channel. Also streaming on PasadenaMedia.org. When I'm not producing this show, I like to watch the Smile Lady, who comes on every Saturday, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on the Arroyo channel, also on AT&T UVerse channel 99. Hi, L.V. Smith, host of the show Sounds Within. Hey, I have my guest here, Jeb Lipson of the big Scarry Tree Studio. And he's here to tell us about the recording industry from a personal level as an independent owner. Welcome back again, Jeb. Now, we were starting to talk about what is a typical day at the big Scarry Tree?
Well, it depends on what I'm doing, but a typical day, if I'm tracking a band like basic tracks, I tend to try to do the setup the night before, because I don't like to be under the gun and stress people out. To me, creating a space where they're as comfortable as possible, because I'm capturing a moment, and if they're bugging about something, it's different. They got to be inspired to play a great performance, because in my opinion, that's what it's about. A great performance of a great song, sung well, I can record it with a tin cup and a string and it's going to be good. So I like to set up the night before, get sounds dialed in, get them comfortable with their cue mix, and just go. I mean, I wear a lot of hats, man. I'm the owner, I'm the engineer. If I'm producing something, each day is different, and every project's different. But I try to approach it the same, which is to get the best possible sounds I can get. Now, I'm not the kind of audio engineer that tries to hype things up and make things bigger than life, because I think the music sounds great to me, sort of the way it is. If people want that, I'll make drums sound like atom bombs, but that's not like what drums sound like. So it's what the client wants, though. So I mean, I have the tools in my experience to know how to get what I kind of want to get. But every day is different. I learn something every day, man. That's what's fun about it. I learn something every day about sound. Whether it's just trying a different mic I wouldn't think to use, or trying a different miking technique or an approach, or the sky's the limit. I mean, I taught this in college for 4 years, which is actually, Mr. Know-It-All Engineer gets a college. I learned so much teaching, because you start talking about stuff you don't think about. You start talking about stuff you might want to try, and your mind gets opened up to,
I'm reminded you brought up a term that I'm sure many of our younger members of the audience never heard: a string in a cup. I mean, we're showing our age there. I mean, hey, how many of us, I know we older folk have done it, but how many younger folks get a cup, a string, and play? What was it?
They have a derivative of that at all the playgrounds now. The little There's a little
finally.
flower, you talk into it, and it goes through the tube, and your buddy can hear it on the other side of the
but to actually see
playground.
the string vibrate, that's
Well,
what
yeah.
I'm talking
Well,
about.
it's a medium. The string's the medium. And right now, you're hearing me through the atmosphere, but you could hear me through the string.
Yeah.
Sound actually travels through solids a little faster.
That's right. That's right. Science, as you were saying before,
I'm a big fan of science.
you're a big fan of science. Science and recording.
Yeah, I'm not a know-it-all. I did read Popular Mechanics as a kid. I'm not a science know-it-all, but I can smell pseudoscience pretty far away.
Especially in the music world.
Well, that's different because now we're talking art. So that's
Well, with all these techno stuff, now you mentioned you were pretty much.
What I mean by that is, in songwriting and in music, you have poetic license to bend the laws of nature, and you can bend gravity, you can bend wavelength theory, you can bend the speed of light, you can bend whatever you want because you're writing a song. But the way the world works, you can't bend it. So that's what I meant by that.
Sort of like this old reggae song I heard by Big Youth. You spit in the sky and it falls in your eye.
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, a lot of times.
Sometimes it falls in your buddy's eye, you get
Yeah,
punished.
that's what others hope for. But like in the recording industry, what sounds like you were promoting is that when you come together to promote or to produce a song, the best can be is good old-fashioned hard work and dedication.
Well, it helps if the artist is prepared, and if you're playing with a live drummer, it helps if he's got to have a good time. I mean, we live in a computer age. Oh, he messed up in 3 places. I can just cut it up. Well, that's cool. You can cut it up, and a lot of people do, and a lot of people make a lot of records that way. A lot of people make records by pushing a button, and the computer plays the drums, and that's fine. I like humans. I like the way humans sound and feel. I like the little nuances of an imperfect performance, and and I don't like cutting them up. I can cut them up. I can cut something to a grid. I can do all that stuff. It comes off to me a little less genuine than just doing it. And I listen to the records I love as a kid. None of them are even close to perfect, but boy, they sound good.
Oh yeah. And we keep rebuying that recording.
Yeah, well. I mean, so that's kind of my philosophy. I like to leave things alone. Capture it. Like if there's a buzz, probably it's my duty to get that out of there and make it a clean, good recording with good levels. But and if I'm gonna adjust, the tone, I move a mic before I reach for an EQ.
Great. Let's hear an example of what it takes to be recording a song, singer-songwriter. What are you going to perform?
This next song is called "Exit Wounds," and I wanted to write a end of a relationship song with all the gratuitous sort of graphic violence of a Hollywood movie. This is what I came up with. I saw the first shot coming. I felt no pain. I let you walk right in and fire again and again. I never knew I was wounded till the day you walked away. Alone and bleeding on the ground, still wounded to this day. Exit wounds are deadly, inflict the most pain. Hollow points, hollow promises, the end result's the same. You never see it coming till it's way too late. Rip apart your heart and soul and seal your lonely fate. Once surrounds inside you, you can almost count the days. Act as if there ain't nothing wrong and make believe she'll stay. Eventually it comes oozing out, blood and bone fall to the floor. A little more from the corner of your mouth, she's walking out
door. Exit wounds are deadly, inflict the most pain. Hollow points, hollow promises, 115 grain. Never see it coming till it's way too late. Rip apart your heart and soul and seal your lonely fate. I know about a little boy. He's got no dad. The deadbeat left a couple years ago. Things got a little bad. And in his eyes there's anger. In his eyes there's pain. And in his future there's trouble. There ain't no sunshine, only rain. 'Cause exit wounds are deadly. They inflict the most pain. Hollow points, hollow promises, the end result's the same. Never seen it coming, and now it's way too late. They ripped apart his heart and soul, sealed his lonely fate. I saw the first shot coming.
Hi, I'm LV Smith, host of the show Sounds Within, which comes on every Friday, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. When I'm not producing that show, I like to watch James Jones Jr.'s show, which is called Anybody Can Play Guitar, which comes on Fridays at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. See you then. Hi, I'm LV Smith, host of the show Sounds Within, which comes on Fridays, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Hey, be sure you tune in and watch Thursday Night Live with Jeff Hodge, Thursday at 10 p.m. See you then. Hi, LV Smith, host of the show Sounds Within. We have Jeb Lipson as a recording artist and a recording engineer and owner. So we're going to talk about the recording industry, and we're also going to talk about some of the challenges, such as electric versus acoustic.
Okay.
So what are the different nuances of being a recording engineer?
If I'm going to record an acoustic guitar, I never do it direct. It's going to be a mic placement thing, and I'm going to decide what the track should sound like, and I'll make a mic choice, or how many mics, or which guitar to use. Electric's different. I mean, I've got a cabinet to mic up. I can, they're totally different animals. But I mean, it's all the same principle. We're just moving air particles, and we're making a sound which is propagating through the air. We're capturing it with a microphone, which is a transducer. We're manipulating and playing it back out through a speaker, transduce it back to an airway, so into the air, so we can hear it. That's I used to tell my recording engineering students, I mean, the basic rule is on a fader, up is louder. I mean, really, it's pretty basic. But I think the experience, it's basic to me because I've been doing it for 30-something years. But I think what happens is, you kind of develop a sixth sense of things before they happen. So you kind of know, how to do it. It's experience. I mean, I've been recording people a long time, So, and I love it. Honestly, like I said before, last time we did this, when it comes to recording people, when it comes to songwriting, when it comes to everything I love, I'm not getting rich doing this, money-wise. And I get rich in other ways doing it because I love it. If I no longer love it, I'll sell. I probably have over $500,000 worth of gear. I'll sell it and do something else.
I'm buying.
You know,
I'm buying some of that gear.
Well, I've been collecting gear for so long. I mean, I have old, you know, old tube mics for, you know, AKG and Neumann's. I mean, I've got great, you know,
So
gear.
each mic has its own purpose, I take it.
I have a microphone that costs more than my car.
I'm not surprised. And what is that mic's specific function?
Vocals mostly, you know.
Yes, I'm aware about those vintage tube mics. They're
Yeah.
sort of like vintage tube amps. They produce a specific purpose.
Oh, absolutely. And I have a big vintage guitar and amp collection too, as you know. But the
Yes,
thing, you
I
know,
do.
the thing about the good news is, you know, is if you don't want to spend 15 or 20 grand on a mic, and now you know I drive a Yaris, you can, you know, we live in the renaissance of cool tube gear. You know, there's a lot of cool stuff being made that's pretty good. Not the exact same, but it's pretty cool.
Yes,
so
it
there's
is.
all kinds of stuff, and I have a lot of that stuff too. But it's not about the gear though. I mean, you know, the gear's part of it, and to me, my studio is cool in my opinion because it's comfortable. There's plenty of parking. There's a great view. There's, you know, a place to chill and decompress. The room sounds fabulous. I mean, it's not a square room with foam on the wall. It was constructed to be a studio. And the control room's accurate as all get out. I mean, you play a mix through my speakers and go listen in your car, and you get it the first time if you've never mixed in there. It sounds like it's supposed to. And that was painstaking to get it that good, you know, on a non-multi-million dollar, you know, professional level as an independent guy building his own studio. I mean, that took some money and it took some good design.
Great. Do you care to share some of the people that come to your studio, or what type of people come to your studio to record?
Well, I do. Look, no project's too small, no fees too big. No, I'm kidding. But I'm open to the public, and I advertise and things like that. But honestly, mostly it's word of mouth. I'm as good as my last session. So that you know, when I started this out in the late '80s, I didn't know. I knew maybe 2 bands.
Wow.
But so I'd record them, and then the bands would break up. Then I knew 8 bands. Then they'd
Wow.
break up, and I knew 16 bands, and so on and so on. So until I got gentrified out of downtown, I was really, really busy. The industry's changed since then. I mean, people aren't making records this way anymore.
No, they're
They've got
not.
a Pro Tools rig in their bedroom, so it's very competitive.
It is.
You know.
Maybe you can come back and we can talk about that in another time. But what do you have?
But if you're hearing if you're watching this out in, you know, wherever this goes land.
Where's the wisdom? Right here. He's going to tell you how to do
If you want
it.
a great deal on recording, find me and I'll give you if you want a great deal on recording, look me up, bigscarytree.com. I'll give you the family deal.
How can the audience get in contact with you?
Bigscarytree.com or jeblipson.com, or I'm on all that social media stuff. I'm a hack, you know. I don't know really what I'm doing because I'm old.
You're still younger than me, so I'm not worried about
But
it.
I'm catching up statistically, which
No,
is
you're
really
not,
frightening.
but you're
No.
doing well.
She said, if you're 2,000, I'll be like 909. You know, it's catch up, man.
This guy's
Percentage-wise.
begging to come back again. Jeb, thank you for being part
Thanks
of
for
Sounds
having me.
Within. And you will come back again another day, I hope.
I will.
He's committed, folks. Catch us again on Sounds Within. Ciao.
Got this old timer knife. My daddy carried it all his life. Gave it to me on his dying bed. And I keep thinking about what he said. And take this old pocket knife and carve your name on the tree of life. It's alright to cut against the grain, 'cause that'll make all the difference, son. Everything's all said and done. Someday it's all that will remain. That knife's seen better days. A busted hinge, a patina glaze. I take it with me about everywhere. Could buy a better one, but I don't care. Take this old pocket knife, carve your name on the tree of life. It's alright to cut against the grain, 'cause that'll make all the difference, son. Look at me, I'm the chosen one. Keep cutting, don't worry about the pain. Come sit beside me, boy. I wanna give you a grown-up toy. It was my daddy's, now I'm giving it to you. Only one thing that I ask you do. And take this old pocket knife and carve your name on the tree of life. And it's alright to cut against the grain, 'cause that'll make all the difference, son. Everything's all said and done. Someday it's all that will remain. And someday you tell your son the same.
Hi, L.V. Smith, host of the show Sounds Within. This show comes on every Friday at 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. on the Arroyo channel. Also streaming on PasadenaMedia.org. When I'm not producing this show, I like to watch The Smile Lady, who comes on every Saturday, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on the Arroyo channel, also on AT&T UVerse channel 99.
According to the medical profession, black garlic helps to repair skin damage. It contains twice the antioxidants as regular garlic, and it restores skin cells damaged by aging process. Sunflower seed butter is rich and it has unsaturated fat acids. Use it instead of peanut butter and you'll be surprised. And you can compare that peanut butter with some apples or celery and it gives you the optimum benefit. Salmon has high omega-3 contents, making it the go-to fish for a healthy skin. Sweet potatoes, peppers, almonds, and all foods are high in vitamin A, C, and E. They are also rich in antioxidants that combat damages and free radicals that occur in your skin.